Tom Ellis never lingered on the weathered asphalt strip hugging his property. It was just there, a relic of his late brother's iron grip on their family's land as suburbia sprouted around it like weeds. Where others saw a forgotten road, Tom saw legacy. He wasn't loud or boastful, didn't need to be. The truth was sharp, silent, tucked into old contracts and quiet payments. The private road, used by 24 homes in the cul-de-sacs beyond, was his. Every driveway in that grid of tidy lawns and matching mailboxes owed him a nod, buried in HOA files or title records. Neighbors might forget, but the ledger didn't. His brother, Jack, had forged the access deals before the HOA existed, when the county traded tax breaks for a shortcut through their land. Jack thrived on bureaucracy, wielding lawyers and clauses like a general. When he died 5 years back, Tom inherited it all: house, land, rights, and the headaches. The road wasn't just pavement, it was his parcel, and the community paid to cross it. A property firm funneled annual fees into a trust that landed in Tom's account, discreet and legal. After decades in construction, dodging permits and union spats, Tom craved quiet. He found it in routine: coffee brewing, newspaper folded just so, evening breezes rustling the pines. Neighbors knew him vaguely, few passed his porch's chipped railing. He wasn't cold, just private, respecting their space and demanding the same. It worked until Laura Pierce arrived. Laura stormed the neighborhood like a siren, loud, relentless, obsessed with fixing things. Within months, she'd hijacked the community board, bullying her way to president. She didn't just enforce rules, she invented them, targeting crooked mailboxes, dim porch lights, or unapproved curtains. Her pastel suits and forced smiles hid a need to control that exhausted everyone into submission. Most complied. Tom didn't. He skipped meetings, paid no HOA dues, his land was exempt. That exemption gnawed at Laura, a flaw in her perfect map. She ignored it until her grand landscaping project gave her an excuse. One Friday, Tom pulled into his street to find 5 massive steel containers, orange, dented, industrial, lined across his road, blocking his driveway and the path beyond. No signs, no permits, no warning. He checked his mailbox, just bills. Then Laura appeared, clipboard in hand, 2 weary volunteers trailing her. "Mr. Ellis," she chirped, her smile a thin veil over disdain. "Hope this isn't a hassle. Temporary storage for our community upgrade." Tom's eyes narrowed. "On my land?" Laura's gaze flickered. "The road's shared, a community asset." "No," Tom said, voice like gravel. "It's mine." Silence. Her volunteers shifted. Laura flipped a clipboard page, feigning calm. "Our legal team says otherwise." "Small sacrifices for the greater good, right?" Tom stared until she blinked, then walked away, Leah vying her stranded between smugness and scorn. Sleep eluded him that night, not from the blockade, but its arrogance. Laura didn't grasp the law, didn't care, and bet no one else would either. She wasn't just blocking his drive, she was declaring war. Tom didn't bluff. By morning, the containers loomed, casting shadows over cracked pavement. Joggers paused, confused. An elderly couple detoured on foot. No notice, no consent. Laura had acted alone, banking on speed to steamroll dissent. Tom pulled his lockbox, spreading out deeds, surveys, and access contracts on his kitchen table. He called his lawyer, Rachel Cole, a no-nonsense veteran who loathed HOA overreach. "Laura finally claimed your road," she said, half laughing. "5 containers, no permission," Tom replied. Rachel sighed. "They're pushing shared use nonsense, citing old county codes that don't hold up. I'll draft a cease and desist. Get me photos and neighbor statements." Tom photographed the containers, measured their overlap onto his land, and got signed statements from Mrs. Harper and Mr. Lang, longtime residents who confirmed Laura's secrecy. "They just appeared," Mrs.? Harper said, glaring at the steel wall. Mr. Lang handed over 15 years of access payment stubs. Tom sent everything to Rachel, who fired off a notice to the HOA. That afternoon, Laura marched to his gate, no clipboard, face tight. I got your letter, she snapped. Good, Tom said, arms crossed. You could have talked to me. She tried. I did. You lied. Her flush betrayed her, but she pressed. It's temporary. Weeks max. You don't block my land and call it a favor, Tom said. Contracts exist. Payments are made. That road's mine. Laura's smile returned icy. Maybe those contracts need a review. Holding a neighborhood hostage with pavement isn't neighborly. Take it to court, Tom said. I'll bring proof. You bring attitude. She stormed off, heels grinding gravel. The next days turned sinister. Trash pickup stalled. The HOA flagged the road as restricted. A fire department complaint accused Tom of blocking emergency access. An inspector, shown Tom's documents, muttered, They're setting you up. Then a sixth container landed, inches from his mailbox, cutting off foot access. Workers in vests swarmed, using his hose, ignoring him. Tom photographed it all. Rachel called. They're baiting you to snap. Don't. Tom hired a surveyor to remark his boundaries. Red flags dotted the road as Laura confronted the surveyor, then Tom. You're disrupting our project, she barked. He handed her the county-stamped survey. You're on my land. I'm documenting it. Her bravado cracked. We'll review your property status. Your claim's shaky. Try me, Tom said. A code officer arrived, citing hazards to public access. He apologized, closing the case, but more followed: fire safety, zoning queries, a bizarre landscaping complaint about non-existent hedges. Each 8 time demanded paperwork besieged by red tape. Tom logged every VY sit, every badge, building a file not just to defend, but to expose. One night, a courier delivered an HOA notice, a vote to deem the road community maintained, citing historical use. No discussion, just a verdict. If passed, it'd muddy his title, stalling his rights. Rachel was blunt. They want arbitration to renegotiate your contracts. We need an injunction, title reaffirmation, and a tort notice holding the board liable. Tom agreed. He posted laminated injunction copies on the containers. A 7th arrived, gray, padlock had no tools, just secrets. An anonymous email tipped him. Check who's collecting road fees now. His trust payments had been rerouted 6 weeks earlier, unsigned by him, through a new processor. Fraud. Tom printed the proof, heart pounding. The war was now criminal. Utilities flagged his land for access reviews, citing vague HOA requests. Rachel met him in her Stark office, reviewing the diverted funds. They're drowning truth in noise, she said, filing a fraud notice to freeze the trust. She hired Clay Vance, a grizzled ex-planner, to audit the HOA. Clay found unverified votes, retroactive newsletter edits, and a generic signature stamp on the payment contract. They're not hiding, he told Tom. They're betting you'll quit. Tom didn't. He posted notices at mailboxes and the community center, detailing his title, the illegal containers, and lease agreements, warning residents of legal risks. Calls flooded and neighbors confused, some apologetic, one admitting he'd signed Laura's petition under false pretenses. Laura countered with a closed-door meeting decrying misrepresentation. Her board fractured. 2 containers vanished overnight. But 3 stayed, and Laura pushed a CIVYL complaint, accusing Tom of harassment and endangerment. Doctored photos and vague witnesses painted him as unhinged. Rachel's counterfiling VY Deos, notarized documents, Neighbor statements crushed it in a week. Laura's grip slipped. A county letter confirmed Tom's title, including a 20-foot buffer, pro-vying every container sat on his land. Encroachment undeniable. That night, floodlights blazed at his windows, securing the containers. Tom called police. They couldn't act without a ruling. He hired security, silent sentinels who shifted the light's aim. A generator fire sparked a fire department probe, finding the HOA for illegal wiring. Laura's name hit the report. Neighbors gathered at Tom's gate, frustrated, asking about property values, apologizing for silence. Tom shared his files, calm, transparent. Laura's final Gambita community meeting imploded. Her excuses unraveled as residents questioned her permits, funds, and threats. Someone dropped the county's land record on the table, Tom's title in bold. Silence fell. Laura drove to Tom's house, defeated. "I misjudged," she said, eyes dull. "It wasn't supposed to escalate." Tom's voice was steady. "It was never the road. It was truth, and you thought no one cared." She handed him a resignation note, promising redirected payments. Tom took it, offering no warmth, just closure. By dawn, the containers were gone, County Super VY said. Laura's bulletin statement admitted unauthorized land use and financial errors. Her house darkened, a for sale sign rising quietly. The lawsuit rolled on, but the neighborhood exhaled. Tom walked his road unblocked, the pines whispering. He didn't gloat, just existed, resolute. Months later, the county suspended 2 HOA staff, reformed permitting. Tom declined a board seat, tended his garden, and replaced the road's faded sign with cedar, etched. Private land, shared respect. Not a threat to truth, hard won, his.
If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.